What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Savage Rounds with Xavier. Today for you, I've got the UFC 291 recap. This card was great. I forgot to open it up on my phone. Let me do that real quick. But top to bottom, great fights. We only had a few decisions. I think it was two. Let me see. I'll have it for sure right here. Yeah, CJ Vergara decision, and yeah, the Pereira fight. Some crazy fights. Pereira, good performance considering he wasn't able to find a knockout, was able to win a split decision. Derek Lewis making a comeback. Yeah, let's get into it. So, picks wise, went 9-2 this week. We're on a good streak right now. It's 4 or 5 weeks in a row now. We're doing pretty good. I missed on Semmelsberger and Medic. Semmelsberger looked good early, was able to find the knockdown. I thought he was going to shoot more takedowns or to at least work it in this fight, but he didn't really. He was going for the striking. He won round one, and both guys started to look tired, but Medic just looked like the more fresh fighter as it went on. And Medic was able to catch him in the third. I'm pretty sure it was the third, right? Yeah. Midway through the third round, was able to catch him with a nice combination. Follow up on it and get him out of there. Some people were saying it was an early stoppage. I don't know. I wouldn't call it that. I mean, Semmelsberger was moving on the bottom, but he was getting hit with big shots, and he was real wobbly after he got hit with the shots on the feet. I don't know. I thought it was okay. And then I also missed on Derek Lewis finally getting back in the win column. I had Rogerio de Lima in that one, and I mean, Derek Lewis came out, sprinted across the cage, threw a flying knee, connected with it, and then just put it on him until he got him out of there. I mean, what can you say? Good for Derek Lewis. It was a sick way to see him get back in the win column. How fast? 33 seconds. Yeah, crazy. And then Savage Round Parlay hits. This is the first one in 2 weeks because I missed the last two videos. I wasn't able to make prediction videos, but we got one out this past week. Back in the win column for the Savage Rounds. Probably we hit Jake Matthews, Roman Kopylov at plus 109. We moved to 12-9 and plus 3.46 units on the year. Chasing that 5-week win streak, trying to see if we can get back to that or beat it. Good way to start the win streak. But yeah, let's go through the fights. Maverick Cachoeira went kind of how I thought it would. If Cachoeira was able to catch Maverick with a big shot, then good honor on the feet. But if Maverick was able to avoid the big shots, stay active with her footwork, be moving well, land shots of her own, and then getting close to get those takedowns, then that was going to be the path to victory for her. That's what it was. Cachoeira got tired as the fight went on. Maverick was coming down in elevation, so this wasn't anything too crazy for her, and it was short notice for Cachoeira, so the longer the fight went, it always favored Maverick, and she was able to find the late submission. I believe it was third round. Yeah, just about halfway through the third round. Really good work from Miranda Maverick in that one. And then I talked about Semmelsberger and Medic. That was one of the ones I missed on. Matthews, Flowers, also kind of what we expect in this one. It was a tough call for Flowers. He talked about it after the fight. He obviously wants to be fighting at 155 pounds. He took this at short notice, up a weight class, at crazy elevation. So he just hadn't been able to fight since he won on the Contender Series. He hadn't gotten a fight yet, so he was trying to get that first fight under his belt. Good on him for taking it on short notice and saving the fight, but yeah, I mean, tough circumstances. He wasn't able to get a good performance, and Matthews did what he should have done as, I mean, a veteran in the UFC now. He's been in the UFC since he's 20. He's touching 30 now, I'd want to say. Yeah, 28. We're getting close. So he's been in the UFC for quite some time, had a lot of fights. He did what he was supposed to do. Yeah, good performance for Matthews. Obviously not the opponent he was supposed to originally fight, but did what he had to do. Kopylov, Ribeiro went pretty smoothly also. A lot of these ones that I got right kind of went how I'd say a majority of the people thought they would go. Kopylov, Ribeiro, I thought in the first round, when Ribeiro caught him, I was like, oh no, this is not going to be good. But Kopylov was able to kind of recover and get back to doing what he was doing. Like I said, that was the only real bumpy part of the performance from him, though. But other than that, other than getting dropped, he looked really good. He was winning the first round. Comes into the second round. I mean, he also hurt Ribeiro at the end of the first after he got hurt himself. But then moving into the second round, which is where he got the finish, he landed a sweet head kick, and he didn't need the follow-up shot, but he landed one follow-up shot after Kopylov did. And yeah, good win for him. He's on a 3-fight win streak now. I'm really high on Kopylov. Good, very well-rounded fighter. He's shown a progression in each fight, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to see who he fights next. And I'll have matchups out tomorrow, just to kind of talk about who I think they should fight. Next up, CJ Vergara and Vinicius Salvador. This was a close fight. It was, a lot of people were talking about, I mean, even the commentators were talking about how it was kind of at a sparring match pace. Vergara even tweeted about it the day after. So yeah, it was definitely a slower fight, not crazy by any means, but CJ Vergara did what he needed to do. I thought he would have mixed in the grappling a bit more than he did, but yeah, he looked good. In the third round, he was able to land the bigger shots to steal the fight, I thought. 2-1. Yeah, good work from CJ Vergara. Maybe a little bit boring, but still got it done. Bonfim Giles, another ridiculous performance from Gabriel Bonfim. That's 2 UFC fights with really quick submissions, and obviously his Contender Series fight was a pretty quick submission as well, so he's looked really good in the UFC for really dominant, super dangerous, obviously. And Giles, I mean, the fight ended in just over a minute. Giles wasn't able to get anything going, so it'll be interesting to see when Bonfim finally faces some pushback. He's undefeated, and the competition is just going to keep getting tougher. We'll see if he can keep producing these performances he is. See if he can keep being this impressive, and I think he can. He's really good everywhere, obviously, and obviously the striking isn't the strong part. He's an elite grappler, but his striking is high level as well, and it's continuing to improve. So really exciting prospect, and another one. I can't wait to see who he gets next. I'll talk about who I think he should fight. We move on to the first fight on the main card. I thought this fight was going to go longer. I thought Chiesa was going to be able to get a takedown or two early and make Kevin Holland work a bit, but Kevin Holland's takedown defense looked really good. At 170, he's such a big guy that he's able to stuff these good grapplers. He talked about wanting to move to or back to 185. I don't know. He's saying he moved down to 170 for the BMF belt, which I think is stupid, but he should stay at 170. It's definitely the best weight class for him. He can handle the grapplers better. But yeah, he stuffed those takedowns like I was talking about. He was able to land good shots. Chiesa, this late in his career, the age he is now, he didn't look like he was really reacting to shots well. He got hit with a couple body shots and an uppercut early, and he kind of just folded up and like moved backwards towards the gate. It wasn't good responses. A takedown gets stuffed. Holland's able to Holland's able to slip in a really nice Darce choke, and that was the end of the fight. Good work from Kevin Holland, and like I said, it's just he's so much better at 170 pounds. He's able to defend these good grapplers so much better, and I really hope he doesn't move back up to 185. Maybe I'll have to make a matchup for 170 and 185. I don't know. We will see. Tony Ferguson, Bobby Green. Another one went how I thought. Ferguson was just always going to be moving forward, and he wasn't ever going to be fast enough for Bobby Green at this point in his career. Everybody was saying it on Twitter, and I totally agree. Prime Tony Ferguson probably picks apart Bobby Green and submits him, but just where he's at now, he doesn't take shots very well. Everyone that he takes clean kind of affects him. He'll shake his head or like look off to the left, and I don't know. He doesn't take the shots well anymore. It's rough to see, but Bobby Green builds as the fight goes on, and it goes down to the ground at some point. Bobby Green's able to sink in the arm triangle with like 10 seconds left or something, 6 seconds left, and yeah, Tony Ferguson was doing everything he could not to tap. He ends up going out. Yeah, rough for Tony Ferguson. 6-fight losing streak. I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't know how many fights he has on his contract. It is an interesting situation for him. Next up, I talked about Derek Lewis and Marcos Rogerio de Lima. Insane from Derek Lewis. Sprints across the cage, lands a big flying knee, gets Rogerio out of there. Awesome to see from Derek Lewis. I didn't bet on this fight. Obviously, Derek Lewis, first round knockout, even in a fight you think he's going to lose, you should always sprinkle on that. I don't know why I didn't. For that fight, that was always the play if you're going to play it. I accidentally hit the next button. But next fight up, co-main event, Jan Blachowicz versus Alex Pereira. During the fight, I thought Blachowicz won. I went back and rewatched it. I do think Pereira won the fight. Damage is the main factor when judging a fight, and Pereira was able to outdamage Blachowicz. I thought the strikes he were landing were more impactful. He lost the first, obviously. I saw people on Twitter talking about how it could have been a 10-8. I wouldn't have quite given it a 10-8, but Blachowicz took his back for quite a long time, had him down on top position before that, was pushing for a takedown before that, so he was in control for a large majority of that round. He obviously wins that one. The next round comes in. Blachowicz gets him down for a bit in the first. They get back up, and Blachowicz looks exhausted. Pereira's able to land some good shots. Looks like he almost hurt Blachowicz at some point. But, he probably didn't hurt him. It was more so Blachowicz was tired and trying to make it to the next round, so I think he was just covering up and kind of moving around trying to stay alive for the rest of that round. But Pereira takes that round based off of what he did on the feet, landing big shots at the end of that round. And then a slower third round. I think both guys knew the fight was at stake, and they both knew, obviously Pereira was trying really hard not to get taken down. Also, the threat of the knockout's always there, the legendary Polish power, and Blachowicz himself was watching out for the big shots. So I think it was a little bit tentative, a little bit slow. But overall, when they were landing, I thought Pereira was landing the more impactful shots, so I gave him that third round as well. Upon the rewatch, giving it to him 2-1. So yeah, in the end, I think they got the right decision, although it was a really close fight. And like I said, I thought Blachowicz won live during the first watch. But yeah, rewatch, I give it to Pereira. Really good performance. I don't think it's a surprise, but I think he'll fight for the belt next versus Jiri. I'll talk about that a little bit more tomorrow in the matchmaking video, but yeah, that's gotta be what's next for him. And that is such a sick matchup, really exciting. I hope they get it done before the end of the year. But to cap off this card, one of the most insane, I don't know, it's something you didn't expect. Gaethje to throw a big, massive head kick like that. I thought the first round was back and forth really close, but I just about edged it to Gaethje. I thought he was landing a little bit of the harder shots, even though Poirier kind of maybe stunned him at some point. He kind of had Gaethje wobbled a little bit, moving back towards the gate at some point, but just overall throughout the round. And Poirier didn't drop him at that point. He just kind of had him stunned for a bit on the feet. But overall, I thought Gaethje did the better work. The leg kicks were pretty nice. And yeah, I just thought he was landing a bit more, the more powerful shots on the feet in the first round. So I just edged it to him. Super close. I know some people gave it to Poirier, but I just about edged it to Gaethje. And then second round, they come out kind of still feeling each other out, nothing too crazy. And they get into a little sequence where they get backed up, and then Gaethje's kind of throwing feints, testing the water, and throws a massive head kick, catches Poirier. Poirier only throws one hand up to block it, and obviously, with 4-ounce gloves on, that's never enough. Not never, but a lot of the times if it's a powerful kick, and you've got your hand on your head, it's still going to hurt you. Maybe you can get away with that in kickboxing, but in Muay Thai, in any 4-ounce glove striking sport, that's going to be tough to get away with. But really sick from Gaethje. Awesome performance. He's the BMF now. Not a better guy I could think of to hold the BMF belt. But let's get on to my awards. I couldn't really pick out a fight for fight of the night. I think if the Poirier Gaethje one went another round or two, you definitely could have given it to that one. Maybe Semmelsberger Medic, but there wasn't really a fight of the night worthy fight, I thought. A lot of early finishes, so it wasn't like really any of them got to play out. So yeah, I didn't go with any. A few performance of the night bonuses though. One, I went with Kopylov. The head kick was great. A little back and forth in the first round. Kopylov faced a little adversity, but came back, did well, landed the big head kick. Sick, I thought. He definitely should have gotten a performance bonus. Next up, Gabriel Bonfim, obviously continues his insane start to his UFC career, including Dana White's Contender Series. 3 submissions, all under a minute 30, I'd say. I can't tell you for sure on the Contender Series one, but definitely for sure his 2 UFC ones. So really sick performance from him. Awesome to see an undefeated prospect continue his run. Next up, Kevin Holland. You have to go with him. His first ranked fight at 170 against a grappler. He does well to stuff the takedowns and then submits the grappler. Obviously, Kevin Holland's got sick jiu-jitsu, but it's just cool to see him doing so well at 170 pounds against grapplers. Next up, obvious one, Derek Lewis. Under 30 seconds. Big flying knee. Puts ground and pound on Marcos Rogerio de Lima until he's out of there. Awesome way for Derek Lewis to get back in the win column. Really sick stuff. And then last up, another obvious one, had to be Justin Gaethje. Possibly a win that gets him a title shot. Again, I'll talk about that tomorrow. And, I mean, the winners column is coming up, obviously. He was a big winner on the night, but yeah, I'll talk about it in a second. Kevin Holland, like I said, kind of the same thing I talked about for his performance. First ranked fight at 170. He gets the win, looks good versus a grappler, gets the submission. What more could you ask for from him on the night? Alex Pereira, next up, debut at 205 pounds in the UFC. Gets it done versus I want to say he was number 2 rank, but top 3 or top 4 for sure. And that was definitely a title eliminator. So Alex Pereira winning a title eliminator in his debut at the weight class in the UFC. Against a guy who was trying to take him down. That was the game plan for Blachowicz, obviously. I didn't think it was. He kind of fooled me. I said I didn't think he was bluffing, talking about he wanted to test his striking, but obviously he was. He, 10 seconds into the fight, shot the takedown. But yeah, good work from Pereira, was able to stuff the takedowns, get up when he was on the ground at points, and defend when Yan was on his back, backpacking him, and then did good work on the feet. Title shot for Pereira next. Really good work. Obviously, he's a winner on the night. Next up, like I said, has to be Gaethje for the last one. Gets a loss back. Poirier finished him earlier in their careers. Obviously, that's when Gaethje wanted back. He gets it back, gets the BMF belt. Obviously, this is kind of, he talked about it, his last run for the title. He's older. He's the kind of guy that fights crazy, so he can't take that kind of damage forever. So this is sort of his last run at the title. This may have been a title eliminator for him. It may be a spot that gets him a title shot, so he has to be a winner on the night. Losers, let me double check. I believe I only went with 2. No, I went with 3. Oh, and then I had 2 honorable mentions, 1 for winner, 1 for loser. Derek Lewis was an honorable mention. I almost just did 4 for each, but I don't know, just not quite, I'd say, in the category. No real big implications other than like a sick performance and a crazy performance of the night knockout. But yeah, I'll talk about the loser. What is it called? The loser honorable mention in a second. But main losers of the night, I'd say Michael Chiesa comes back after 2 years. Doesn't look great. He's definitely older in his career. He may have lost his rank altogether. He may be pushed out of the rankings. I would assume he will be. We'll see tomorrow. You'll see when this video's out. You'll know. Yeah, rough night for Chiesa. Next up, I didn't want to do it, but Tony Ferguson. 6-fight losing streak. It's really just not looking good. He got finished again. Yeah, just tough. He's old. Not looking good. 6 fights. 6 fights down in a row. Yeah, it's just sad to see. Yeah, it's really rough. Lastly, Jan Blachowicz. I don't want to say It's tough for him because he's definitely older. I want to let me pull it up so I can give you his exact age. But he's around 40. He is exactly 40, so he's 40 years old. He just lost a title eliminator. It's going to be tough to get back to a title fight for him, I'd say. The Ankalaev fight and this one were probably his last two shots, unless he can make a Glover-like run at his late age, but I doubt it. So, yeah, just losing a title eliminator at this point in his career, at this age, is a little bit rough. And then my honorable mention for the losers was Dustin Poirier. But it's hard to call him a loser because he's still in the top 5. He's not super old yet. And, I mean, he hasn't had a performance recently where he's looked really bad or looked like he wasn't fighting bad. He got caught with a crazy head kick from Justin Gaethje. So I didn't quite want to put him in the loser category, but it's a tough loss. It was a possible title eliminator. That sucks to lose, big implications. But yeah, that's the recap for UFC 281. Sick card. We've got some matchups to make. These are the guys. We've got Jake Matthews, Uros Medic, Roman Kopylov, Gabriel Bonfim, Kevin Holland, Bobby Green, Derek Lewis, Jan Blachowicz, Alex Pereira, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje. That'll all be tomorrow for matchmaking. And then on Thursday, I will be back with the Corey Sandhagen versus Rob Font card predictions and bets. Rob Font taking the fight on short notice. That is good. Corey Sandhagen got to stay in the matchup. But yeah, like this video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow and Thursday. Peace out.